Okay, in Project 11, we want to explore analogous color. I'm sorry, that's Project 12. Analogous color and complementary color. And what is that? So, looking at the color wheel again up here in the upper right, analogous colors are colors that are close together, say within 30 degrees, 40 degrees tops along the color wheel. So we could say this orange, this red, and this purpley red are analogous. Or this yellow and green, maybe slight amount of cyan in there, are analogous, and so on, okay? And one of the nice things about analogous colors is they always go together. You can't go wrong, basically. What if we were to do a color study using analogous colors going from yellow to red in here? I like using the color picker, so I'm going to double click on the foreground color here and dial this up to yellow. And if you want to play with really intense hue, that's fine. If you would rather tone it down and get a more subtle, you are the artist here, so you decide. Just for the sake of a change from the monochromatic one, I'm going to go with full hue on this one. So there's the yellow, and I'll say OK. And I'm going to start right here in the center with that. And then warm that up slightly towards the red range then. So I'll just pull this down a little bit. And compare new versus current again. OK. And try to do an even step, almost like notes on a piano scale, where they step up uniformly from C to D to E, etc. Okay, so then you click on here. So this is a pretty easy project. Again, compare the new versus the current, and say OK. And go ahead and color them in. This is a radial version. You could try also a linear version on one of your previous quarter circle projects here. So again, stick with the plan and follow through on it. So I'm doing basically just concentric rings here. And, yep, tightening it in. And I'm sticking with maximum hue, so I'm being consistent this way. Getting into red. Could also do some combination of value study as well if you wanted to add that in. But sort of the nature of yellow to red is already gives us the appearance of a darker value as we get out. So I've hit the bottom. I don't see much of a change, so I'm going to go to the top and compare the new with the old. I may end up having to just go darker with this to get a visual change again for a step. Okay. We're sort of doing a minimal amount of spot color at this point. And I'm going to go pretty dark with that, just because it's the corners. I'm almost getting too far afield with the analogous idea, but since it's so dark, it works. It's fine. Okay. Complementary color. What is that? Something to play with. You can be creative as you like. Just have a plan that you can decipher a progression. So what is complementary color? Looking at the color wheel is a good place to start. There are colors that are exactly opposite one another on the color wheel. So if I were to highlight this color and make it the maximum hue, and say OK to that, and I'm going to just do a vibrating alternate. That's what I think I'll do. I'm going to skip this row and then color this in out here. So complementary colors are high energy. They tend to be disturb one another, vibrate against one another. I'm going to skip this one and come out here again. And I'll just do an alternating green and purple. But you could pick any two colors as long as they're exactly opposite on the color wheel, and they'll do the same thing. Oops, Control Z, Control Z. Let's see what happened here. I went too far. Thinking let me start doing some greens because I'm getting a little bit. So I'm going to take I for eyedropper, click on that green. G is the shortcut for the bucket tool. So we have purple, green, purple. This has to be green. Getting carried away here with the losing my way. So Control Z is your best friend in this class. If I wanted to put the purple as one of the background color, I for eyedropper, sample it, and then you can switch these two colors. Whatever's in the foreground is what the bucket will dump, with the letter X, or with this little arrow that's bent here. That also does it. X or the bent thing. So let's see, I need purple, and then G is your shortcut for the bucket. Okay, and then X and yellow. So this is a pretty simple, I didn't do a gradient difference, just picked out two colors opposite on the color wheel. I could make them darker, etc. Okay, but you get the idea here. Okay, we've gone long enough here. So put at least 4 different, if you want to do more, that's good, but at least 4 different pieces in your folder, and that's Project 12, and see you in the next one.